I think from my father, the key values I learned. So I think really focus, dedication, hard work, and he set a phenomenal example when it came to that of what he was able to achieve with those values. And I just have a recollection of whatever it was that he chose to do, he was incredibly focused with that and worked until he got it done. So that for me is really what I've taken away from that. I definitely have a competitive streak. I did quite a lot of competitive sport when I was at school, which I think is always great, both in terms of kind of building up a healthy competitive streak. Kind of taught me a lot about teamwork as well, and that's very much something that I've taken to here at Buckmore Park in my role. I think competitiveness is really healthy, and we compete to be the best karting circuit in the UK, but I think it's all about team here, so sort of working together as a team. But I have inherited my father's competitive streak, which I sometimes do have to curb a little bit. It was never my intention to go into motorsport, sort of happened slightly by accident. And I've always been really independent and wanted to really find my own way through life and through my own career. So I have always really been fascinated by business. My father was an excellent businessman, and part of his business was involved in property management. I had worked in his office since I was 15, helping him out. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to work in business. So I thought I'll keep it sort of quite broad. I'll keep my options open. I'll go and study business and go and understand a lot more about the nuts and bolts of actually running a business, so that it will really leave my options fairly open in terms of my future career. So I then ended up really getting into motorsport by accident. It was never really my intention to pursue a career in motorsport. When I first started working at Buckmore Park, it was very much something that played on my mind about how I would be perceived, not only as coming in as the owner's daughter, but also obviously coming in as a female in a male-dominated sport and male-dominated environment. I quickly learned that wasn't necessarily the case. I mean, we've got a big focus here on equality at Buckmore Park, more so obviously since I've taken over as managing director, by the sheer fact of having a managing director who's a female. Our management team, out of the senior management team, 5 out of our 11 senior managers are female. So it's not really something that phases me at all now. But I think back then when I first started my role, it was a very challenging time. My father had passed away only 6 months before I became managing director. Luckily, by that point, I'd been in the business for 2 years, so really understood the business well. That gave me a good grounding. And then I really took on the role as managing director as a necessity, really, because the business was struggling. We needed strong leadership, and I didn't feel that there was anyone else better placed to take on the role that had so much personal investment in making Buckmore a success than what I did at the time. I started my career in consulting, predominantly HR consulting. So I was doing senior level headhunting and also executive coaching. Those skills, although it was challenging at the time going straight out of university into that type of role where I was dealing with very senior individuals who were experts in their field, it did mean that I instantly had to build my confidence with being able to talk to people that were experts in their field on the same level. And honestly, that meant a little bit of pretending that I knew what I was talking about, but obviously trying to be credible whilst doing that. And I think actually that's a really important skill for particularly women in business to realise that actually a lot of us do have to sort of fake the confidence before we really feel truly confident. So I think there's always a bit of slightly pretending before you feel totally confident. And that's absolutely fine because everybody goes through that. I then moved on and I got headhunted by one of my clients who were Kurt Geiger, and then I moved on to Tiffany, and I sort of held similar roles where I was managing parts of their HR team. And for me, business has always been about people, and that really just cemented it. So I think my background in HR means that my My interest in the business is really primarily to do with the people in the business, because if my team are motivated and engaged, then they're going to work hard and they're going to keep our customers happy. So I think for me, it's really been about being able to build my own confidence, but also have a massive focus on my team, which have been the kind of key things that I've learned along the way. The vision that I give to my team is to provide all of our customers with an exceptional experience. And that's been a huge focus for us, because I think 18 months, 2 years ago, we were doing a really good job, but we knew that we could get better. So for us, the focus is really being exceptional. So providing that kind of wow to our customers, whether it be corporate, adults, juniors, across the whole range of what we offer here at Bucknell Park. Obviously for us, the leisure side of the business is a huge part of the business. We have recently won an award which was for Best Tourism Experience in the South East. So again, that's demonstrating that we're also going beyond the realm of motorsport. Not only are we one of the best motorsport circuits in the UK, but we've been recognised as a great leisure and tourist experience as well. So really kind of open across the board to lots of different customers, but the consistent message is that we want to provide an exceptional experience and that everyone is wowed by their experience at Bucknell. At the moment, there isn't an equal gender split. We definitely do see more boys coming through karting. It is slowly starting to change a bit. We do have a lot more girls that are coming through things like our junior club, and also just the fun days, so the family days that we run. We've recently worked with an organisation called Dare to Be Different, so that very much focuses, it's an initiative run by Susie Wolf, and it very much is about encouraging women to consider career in motorsport. And I think that's the important message, is that, you know, driving and becoming a driver is such a small part of a massive and very successful motorsport industry. And, you know, I think the important thing is that we need to get more women into the motorsport industry in general. So whether that be within the marketing, within the management, whatever that is, I think it's important for young girls to know when they're looking at what they want to do, that actually there's a massive industry that perhaps historically they may not have thought of, because it's been very male dominated, but actually that is changing. And I think by even here, the fact that we have, you know, myself as a female managing director, our operations manager is female, our sales and events director is female, I think it will change by people and young girls seeing women in leadership positions and it just being the norm. So I think that's the most important thing, is just, it is changing. Yes, it's important that we all have a role to play in encouraging girls to do whatever it is that they want to do. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to equality, is it shouldn't be about forcing girls into karting, but actually it's about providing them with exactly the same opportunity if that's something that they want to do. I wouldn't actually describe myself as a petrolhead. I've been very fortunate that I've grown up looking at many beautiful cars. I've been to many events with my dad, things like Goodwood. Often it's been the kind of classic cars that the classic beauty of a classic car I think is stunning. My father had a beautiful BMW 507, which probably to this day is my favourite car. And I think there's something really, really special about those old cars. I was very fortunate recently to drive a Ferrari 488 Spider, and that was pretty special. But no, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a petrol head, but I do have a huge appreciation for cars, and I can understand people that are petrol heads.